IOM Radio Network, the world's conscious broadcasting network. Live on iTunes and archived on iHeartRadio, the voice of consciousness. And now, join Shay Parker's Best of the Best, offering celebrity guests, lively discussions, hot topics, free psychic readings, and expert guest hosts. Simply the best in spiritual and metaphysical talk radio. Listen live on your phone or device using our universal mobile player. No app needed. Shay Parker's Best of the Best. Find out more at bestamericanpsychics.com.
Hi, everyone. Let's get metaphysical. Let me hear your body, mind, and soul talk. I am Mary O'Malley, psychic medium, master hypnotherapist, past life regression specialist, energy healer, teacher, author, intuitive coach. When you've been around a while, you pick up some skills. I am so excited and honored and happy to be on Shay Parker's Best of the Best and OMTimes Radio. Thank you so much for having me. And I'd like to say thank you to old and new friends and listeners. Wonderful to be here. Wonderful to have you again. Wonderful to be back on the air. Really excited. If you have questions during the show, just go to Facebook and connect with me on Mary O'Malley Psychic Medium. Make sure you get the Mary O'Malley Psychic Medium page and not just the Mary O'Malley page. And if you have questions, type them in, and I'll do my best to answer your question as I go through the show. And, of course, you can follow me there on my Facebook page to hear about upcoming guests, workshops, special events, whatever's going on. If you want to know more about me, you can also find me at my website, which is www.maryo'malley.com. So as I said, I'm really excited to be here today. The premise of the show is basically how to or what you need to know to work with anyone in the metaphysical business. I'm going to give you tips and clues, questions you should ask. I talk to so many people who waste so much time and money, and I'd like to help you not to do that. I'd like to help you get the best out of your psychic, out of your shaman, out of your energy healer, whatever it is. There are some things we would all like you to know, and I imagine there's some things that you would like to know. So be sure and ask those questions on the Facebook. This is my first show here, so if I have a little bit of a learning curve, please be patient with me. But we're going to get right to it pretty quickly. So the show today is what you need to know about working with a psychic or a medium. As I said, how to save time and money, number one, how to pick a good one, how we can help you, what we can actually do to help you, and conversely, what we can't do. Let's see, what we need from you, because this is about you. All these sessions are about you. So we need some things from you to help that along. How to protect yourself. Interesting premise, how to protect yourself. I talked to a number of people that have told me their psychic cursed them. Things haven't been going right since I talked to that psychic, and because I didn't give her extra money. Let's see what else. I know someone else who has a friend who's psychic, and also always gives her psychic readings, whether she asks for them or not. And my friend always walks away feeling really crummy afterwards. So, there just needs to be some protection, grounding, things you need to know about languaging, just how to protect yourself. And, of course, psychic do's, psychic don'ts, and whatever else we have time for in this show. So I'm, once again, so glad to be here, so glad to have you here. I'm going to start off right away with what is a psychic? I know if you're listening to the show, you probably think you already know, and you probably do, but let's start from the beginning. So a psychic or medium is someone with the ability to receive extrasensory information. This information can be about the past, the present, the future, but for whatever reason, they have an ability to connect with guardian angels, guides, other awarenesses. They have the ability to connect to the other side, deceased loved ones. For whatever reason, their radio is turned a little higher than other people's, and we just get some stuff, whether we want it or not. Interestingly enough, my guides told me that everyone has psychic ability. It's literally a sixth sense that we're all born with, that we all have. And the other thing you need to know is psychic abilities are like fingerprints. Everyone's are a little different. So it's important to know that going in, because a lot of people expect psychic readings to be done a certain way, and really it's quite different for each of us. We work with our guides. Our guides like things to be done in certain ways. We have our own protocols that we like to work within. So it's really important to know that we're all different. And we'll be talking about that a little later on. So how do they receive this information? There's basically clairvoyance, which is clear seeing, clear sentience, clear knowing, clear audience, clear hearing. We even taste, we even smell. There's clear cognizance, which is just a knowing. Spirit told me that everyone actually receives this information through all of their senses. But just some of our senses are tuned up a little higher than others. So some of us are feelers. Some of us are really good at seeing things. Some of us are really good at hearing. I know I was teaching a class and I was talking to somebody about that, and I said, yeah, I'm not really auditory. And for the next 3 months, everything I received was auditory. So Spirit, my guys have a sense of humor. They like to play with me. So I never say never anymore. Sometimes they receive information through channeling, which is bringing another entity through them, being the mouthpiece for that entity and their energy and whatever they have to say. So a lot of people will channel other entities. They'll channel guides. On occasion, I've been known to channel deceased loved ones, and it's really funny because I'll say something, just all of a sudden I'll say something or move my body in a certain way, and the client will say, oh my God, that's exactly what they do. So even though I don't really call myself a channel, I know that I can and do, at certain times. Let's see. Psychics are often aided by tools, oracle-type tools. Tools, you say? Yes. Sometimes we use tarot cards, oracle cards, runes, tea leaves, bones, crystal balls, mirrors, water, things like that for scrying, pendulums. We can sometimes hold objects, and that's called psychometry when we get a reading from an object. And basically the information, it comes from our guides, your guides, universal mind. You can't always tell exactly where it's coming from. Personally, I have 2 sets of guides that I work with. The guides that have been with me since the beginning, and I've been doing this for about 20 years. There's 5 of them, and I call them the Mighty 5. And they're basically healing guides. So they'll give me information, they'll give me specifics, and quite often they'll be working on my client, and I'll feel the room heat up or my hands heat up, or they'll instruct me to pull out certain crystals that correspond to my client's chakras, whatever chakra needs help that day. So, as I said, we're all a little different, but the Mighty 5, if you're having a reading with me, it's quite likely the Mighty 5 is also working on you. I have a funny story about them. Years and years ago, I was working with a marketing person who insisted that I pick something to focus on in my marketing. So I already talked about many of the things that I do, and I was having a hard time choosing something. And so I asked my guides about it, and they said, we don't care what you do as long as you get them in your presence for 5 minutes so we can do what we do. So no real help there. That better understanding of how they worked with me. I have another set of guides that came in when I started my last radio show, The Merry Medium, and they've been with me ever since. There's 3 of them. They are archangels. Collectively, they call themselves Anantha, which I looked up, and it means flower in Greek. And they are like a switchboard. They help me connect with other archangels. They connect to other guides, other entities. It's funny, they'll connect to different saints. When I'm working with people, I'll say, there's somebody here named Saint Jude. And I'll hear, I'm not surprised, I've been praying to him all morning. So they're really cool to work with. I'm very grateful to have them. So who uses psychic mediums? Who doesn't these days? The rich, the famous, kings, queens, presidents, celebrities, you know, a lot of people over millennia have used a psychic or an intuitive guidance as a secret weapon, you know, to kind of help them with making changes, making decisions. All those things are very, very important, and they've always been around. I don't care what anyone says, whether it was the local shaman. We've been around for the ages, and we'll talk more about that when we come back from commercial break. But, yeah, if you're listening to this, you can use a psychic. So hold on, and we'll be right back.
The best of the holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Have you wondered how to change your love paradigm? The secret key is finding a love partnership, not just a regular connection. How do you find these? Through conscious relationships. Ascending Hearts Dating is a dating site for people like you that believes in second chances and a different type of spiritual connection. Try Ascending Hearts for free at ascendinghearts.com and change your love paradigm. Ascending Hearts, the premier dating community for the spiritually awake.
Hello! Join us, Lisa Berry and Michelle Carter, every Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time for the Mindset Makeover, What's Possible. Get ready to become present, clear, and unstuck, and start living fully, led by your heart. While you listen and feel this transformation through vibration of word, sound, and song, you'll open up to what's possible and experience your shift.
Hi, this is Shay Parker, founder of BestAmericanPsychics.com. If you are a professional psychic or medium and are looking for a group of like-minded individuals that are truly supportive of one another, Best American Psychics is the place for you. Or if you're not a psychic but you're in need of guidance regarding love, money, career, and more, please visit our directory. Each psychic is double tested and approved for accuracy, professionalism, ethics, and more. BestAmericanPsychics.com, a new league of professional psychics.
So, I'm a dog, and I just got adopted by this new human guy, and I'm starting to wonder how he got along without me. I mean, okay, something as simple as walking around the block. He's got this leash thing, and he puts me on one end and him on the other, and I'm just taking him around. I think he's afraid of getting lost. Without that leash and me guiding him along, I don't think he'd find his way back home. But it's kind of cute.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Okay, and we're back. So I was going to finish talking about who uses psychic mediums. So one thing I wanted to talk about was cultural beliefs A lot of cultures, they do this, and it's no big deal to them. I have a client who's Japanese, and she told me, if it's good enough for the Emperor of Japan, it's good enough for me. So you're going to be my person. I just love that. And then, some cultures, aren't crazy about the idea. Some religions aren't crazy about the idea. You have to decide what's best for you. But if you're listening to this, you're probably interested and probably could use a good psychic and medium. So how to pick a good one as we move forward with that. The best way to pick a psychic is word of mouth. Honestly, your friends know who's good, who's working with them. Ask around. You'll be surprised. I found a good medium that way when I was looking for a medium at one point. Ask around. Your friends are using psychics, whether they're talking about it or not. If you can, find someone who has proven themselves as somebody you trust. You can also search by specialty. By specialty, I mean some people are specialize as pet psychics. They'll specialize in relationships, health, finances, missing objects or missing persons. I spoke to someone who will hopefully be interviewing in another few months, who is a lawyer and has been getting her guides have been pushing her psychic stuff on her, and she's, so she would be a person that you could call if you were having any troubles with legal matters, those kind of things. She could probably help you walk through all of that. So looking them up by specialty it always is going to be helpful too. Education, there's a few schools out there that educate psychics. There's no licensing for it. There's nothing like that. From what I understand, they tend to teach the way they do it. I just began my own school, of course. Love teaching people how to be psychic and use their psychic abilities. But I understand that, like I said, every psychic, their abilities are like fingerprints. Everybody's are different. And so the good schools are going to teach you how to find out how you are psychic. So the other thing about education is, like I said, the lady who's a lawyer, I happen to have a master's degree in holistic nutritional health science. So quite often my reading at some point will be showing me things that your body is asking for, like broccoli, stretching, walking, things like that. So look into their education. You'd be surprised how many psychics out there have master's degrees, PhDs, in things that are not psychic at all. And yet they can use that knowledge, their education, along with their psychic gifts to help you. Now, that doesn't mean you have to go find a psychic that has a master's degree. There's a lot of fabulous psychics out there who don't have higher education. So, but that's just, a way to look at picking a good one. There's a lot of psychic hotlines out there. There's a lot of things on the internet. Best American Psychics is actually Best American Psychics. I know I had to go through testing and education and things like that when I got on with Best American Psychics, and I'm really proud to be there because I do call myself a professional psychic and medium. The other thing you need to look at is price. You can find prices anywhere from $25 to $1,000. Mid-range seems to be $150 to $300. So you have to go with what you can afford. And also go with your gut, your own intuition. Like I said, we all have those abilities. If you feel strongly pulled to someone, I can't tell you how many people call me and say, I saw your face and I just knew you were the person I needed to talk to. Or I heard your name and I just knew you were the person I needed to talk to. And it's not that I have such a steady face. It's just that energetically they tuned in on me right away. So that was pretty cool. So there's lots of ways to go about finding a good medium. So I wish you luck. I'm a good medium or psychic. I'm pretty good. You can connect with me through my website and make an appointment. And, of course, anybody you find on Best American Psychics is going to be fabulous. So why should you use a psychic medium? How can we actually help you? This is really important for you to listen to. People have all kinds of wild ideas about what a psychic can do and cannot do. I hear, can't you make him love me? No, I'm not a magician. I'm a psychic. Things like that are, just lack of education. One of the most important things I think that we do is help you identify your own intuitive voice and also verify your own intuition. I can't tell you how many times people finish with the reading and they say, oh, I knew that. That we have trouble trusting ourselves, and there's good reason for that. We get emotionally involved in our own issues, and sometimes we can't trust ourselves from the emotional point. Most psychics go to a psychic just because of that. But the bottom line is, if I'm verifying your own intuition, then you can pretty much trust the information that's coming through and go with that. And that the idea of trust is very, very important. A lot of times we can give you a larger perspective of a situation. So when we get wrapped up in something, we tend to get a little bit of tunnel vision. That's just humans. That's just what we do. So a good psychic can often give you a larger perspective of the situation along with psychic insight that will help you in your decision-making. They can help you with that decision-making, obviously. We can navigate respective pathways and go down a longer term. So a lot of times people will ask me, well, I've been offered 2 jobs. I'm not quite sure which one to take. So as a psychic, I can walk down that future path and see how they feel about that job in a year or 5 years. Hey, this one looks, a little crazy in the beginning, but 5-10 years down the road, you're doing great. Or this looks great in the beginning. 3 years down the road, you're tearing your hair out and you're looking for a new job. So, that can be really helpful when you're making a decision. It can also be helpful if you're hiring employees. I've done that with a lot of business owners. Here I've got 3 good ones, walk down the path for me with those 3. And, I can say this one looks good. This one you want to offer more money. This one, don't go near them with a 10-foot pole. Whatever that is. So it can be really, really helpful in decision-making when it comes to the longer-term things. We can also identify other possibilities, other thoughts, other avenues that you didn't know about. Quite often your guides will be telling us things like, well, how about you look left instead of just right all the time? And that other things might be coming forward. That happens quite often. People choosing between jobs or even choosing between boyfriends and girlfriends. I'll say, well, this one looks good, but I think you've got better coming. So, we as humans, we tend to be in the moment. So we can help identify other possibilities. And a lot of times I'm working with somebody, I find that the guides will bring my clients' unfocused thoughts out of the dark and into the light. So I'll start repeating a sentence or a thought process, and it turns out that's exactly what's been going on inside of them, but they haven't been able to identify it. So that's really, really helpful. So you can acknowledge something that's been holding you back and do something about it. Obviously, good medium is going to help you connect with your loved ones that have passed over. This is incredible for grief release, final words. I can't tell you the healings that have happened doing mediumship for people. And they've gone to grief counseling and they've done this and that, but just having that sense of the person is still around them, the person is doing well. They can actually, when I'm working with them, they can actually feel the presence of that person in the room also. And you guys are really funny. You always tell me, well, tell them I love them. Tell them I'm so sorry. Like they're not right there with you. They are. But I'm happy to do that for you and happy to teach you how to do it for yourself. So one of those things I'd like you to know from what I perceive of our loved ones that have passed on, they're mostly there for love and support. They kind of know what's going on with us. They kind of don't. Sometimes they're very perceptive. Mostly their job is not to interfere in any way. And sometimes I'll find that people have passed over, but they're interfering in that person's life. So we have some more work to do. Maybe they haven't gone through their paces that they go through afterward. So we need to bring in some Archangel Michael help or somebody to help them finish with their passing over. So, when you're talking to a medium, know that there's a lot of things going on there, and find out. A person I worked with, a psychic who was helping me when I first started, she said, if Aunt Jane wasn't good at finances, you don't want to ask her for help with your finances just because she's passed on. Doesn't mean all of a sudden she knows everything. You have to be careful with that. Sometimes the psychic will notice spirit attachments, help you identify spiritual attachments and release them. And that's always very interesting. It sounds like we're going to commercial break, so we'll be right back. Once again, if you have any questions, go on the Facebook, Mary O'Malley Psychic Medium, type them in. See you soon.
The best of holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Spiritual, metaphysical, green living, psychic, alternative healing, life coaching. Do any of these or similar terms apply to your business or cause? If so, you are in a niche market with a very specific audience. Conscious Gate PR is the world's leading conscious public relations agency. With a global reach of over 4 million and growing, we offer comprehensive media campaigns to our targeted market. Learn more at ConsciousGatesPR.com. Conscious marketing for conscious minds.
This is Terry Van Horn, and I want to invite you to join me for my weekly radio show, Healing Light, on OMTimes Radio every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On Healing Light, we want to bring love, light, and blessings into your world. You can find out more about us at www.healinglightonline.com. Blessings.
Hi, this is Vicki Snyder, the Everyday Mystic Angel. What's that, you ask? Well, it's an angel with a down-to-earth edge. And you can catch me live every fourth Tuesday from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on The Best of the Best. Learn more about me and my services at www.vickysnyder.com. That's VICKISNYDER.
Every 2 minutes, an American is sexually assaulted. The majority of victims know their attacker. It could be your friend, your neighbor, or someone you met at a party. If you said no, it's rape, and it's a crime. This is Christina Ricci with RAIN. Call the National Sexual Assault Hotline today at 1-800-656-HOPE or visit RAIN.org. That's RAINN.org.
Brought to you by RAIN and this station.
So here we are back again. So I talked a little bit about spirit attachment And what are those exactly? Sometimes we pick up energies. Sometimes we're, in a bar or someplace where there's a lot of negative stuff going on. And all of these things create energies or attract entities that want to feed off that energy. And sometimes they'll hitch a ride with us. They like our energy, they like our vibration, and so they'll hitch a ride with us. And you'll know how that feels. You'll be feeling kind of tired, sluggish, maybe a little mental fog. So a lot of times a psychic can tune in on that for you. Psychic can help you connect with your guides. Everybody always asks, what's my guide's name? I'll say, ask them. We can also help you as a general compass, turning right instead of left, what's good today. But it could be, it is time for career change. It feels like things are going on at work, or I see the sun shining over you, so everything's good at work, or I see a hatchet over you, and it looks like you need to look for work. So just kind of a general compass in things. And that information usually comes from your guides, so they're with you. We can help with answering spiritual types of questions. Basic reading is going to cover romance, health, wealth, pets, your kids, whatever. And then, of course, general stuff that your guides want you to know. It's so funny. Your guides often feel like you do. So you'll come in and maybe you're real high energy, kind of your energy's bouncing all over the place, and so are your guides. It's really funny. Another time you might come in and you're real calm, relaxed, and your guides will be real calm and relaxed. It's really funny. So there's a lot of things that psychics can tune into. One thing I want you to know, that being a psychic and psychic work is an art. It is not a science. So while quite often we are right on, sometimes we get it totally wrong, and sometimes we get a partial on it. So if you can imagine, there's not someone necessarily talking right in our ear and giving us specific instructions. A lot of times we're interpreting feelings, we're hearing a couple of words and trying to make sense of it, or seeing bits and pieces of a picture. We do the best that we can to interpret this for you. And a really good psychic is going to tell you exactly what they see and hear and let you interpret that, because you know what that means more than we do. And although, we're there to help, and that's our job, is to try to interpret the information that's coming through. What a psychic cannot do, okay? There's a few things we can't do. I can't tell you many people call and ask me what is their life purpose. I'm not going to be able to give you your life's purpose, but I can expose talent, passions, possibilities. There will be information that comes through people's life purpose. Most of the time, there's not just one life purpose. There's many. So that can be very confusing. A psychic cannot make someone change their behavior or make someone love you or change you or your behaviors. A psychic can't make someone else change. We're not magicians. We're not God. We're just antennas. We receive information and we give that to you to the best of our ability. So, sometimes people, they put, I'll call this psychic and they'll fix everything. And it doesn't really work that way. Your life is yours to fix. We can help you. We can give you some clues, some direction, some things that'll help you along your way. But this is about you, and you need to do the work. So as saying that, we're going to move into, what does the psychic and medium need from you? That's right. Not just your money. We need some help from you. Number one, you should always have a list of questions. The reading is about you. Take responsibility for it. People call me, they just say, oh, I don't know. I just thought I should call and get a reading. And, you know, sometimes that's okay. Sometimes the information starts coming through fast and furious. But, you know, that's me guiding the reading, and this is really about you. So no matter what the psychic says, and understand, please, that we have the potential to receive billions of bits of information on you. So if you tell us where you want us to focus, guess what? It's going to save a lot of time, going to save you money, and that's really, really important. So always have a list of questions. Ask how your psychic likes to work. Every psychic, as I said before, is unique, and the way they tune into your energy is based on many different circumstances. For me, my guys love to start with your questions. Let's get those going right away. Let's get into it. And the other information that you need to go along with that, you know, they're happy to provide. That's going to come anyway, general information. I had a reading by a psychic a couple of months ago, and she does the opposite. She starts with all the information she's receiving about you, and then the last part of the reading, if she hasn't answered any questions, then you have your list of questions there, things you would like to know. So we're all a little different. Ask how we work. How does this work for you? How do you run your reading? What's your structure of your reading? Ask us how it works for us. Because if you allow us to work the way that's most natural for us, you are going to get the best reading, the best information. Your time is not going to be wasted. The information is going to be pertinent and about what's important to you. So please ask us how we work, and don't expect us all to work the same way. And don't tell us how we're going to work. That usually sets up a kind of uncomfortable energy right to begin with. So, you know, be respectful of us. We do all work a little bit differently, and we all want you to have a good reading. This is what we do. This is our inspiration. This is our passion. We want you to have the very best that we're able to give you, you know, every single time. So let us do our job. Participate. A lot of people, they just go and they sit down and they don't participate at all. You need to let us know when we're on the right track. As I said, this is an art. It's not a science. There's lots of information coming our way. Let us know that we're on track. It helps us. It helps us verify. Or you could be in a situation where there's other people around you, and we might be picking up on their energy, and we need to know so that we can steer in a little different direction. You know, there's a lot of different environments and a lot of different things going on, and it really helps when you participate and say, yep, yep, yep. Or a lot of times people will tell me a little bit about the situation. I'll be reading that as they're telling me, and it helps me and the guys go right to the crux of the matter, and it's pretty amazing what comes of that, even though a lot of people say, well, I don't want to give you any information. So, you know, it depends on you, but and it depends on the psychic. We all work a little differently, okay? Be open-minded with us. This work isn't black and white. It's not yes and no. There's a lot of mostly gray going on for us, and we're doing the best we can to maneuver through that grayness, that information. So be open-minded. If we say something that you say, no, that can't be, chances are you're going to call me back or one of us back in a few weeks and say, oh, my God, you were right. I don't know that could have happened, but it did. If we're asking you questions, please answer them. Some of you are louder. I read that in a book of another psychic wrote, how some people are louder than others, and it's a perfect description. So some of you are louder and easier to read than others. So we may ask questions. Those questions are often directed by spirit, and they help us tune in to you more clearly. A lot of times psychics, we'll almost always ask the first name, and a lot of times they'll ask your birth date or your city, so they're clear on tuning in on you. So if we have some questions to start out with, please help us. We may just need those questions answered to help us tune in more clearly to your energy. And you may think this is weird, but be honest. Giving us false information throws us off. It throws off the energy stream, and we can usually tell when you're lying. So please be honest with us. You need to look out for some things also. I talked earlier about protecting yourself, how to protect yourself. This is really important. I'll get started on this, although we're going to go to break pretty soon. So look out for psychics that charge extra fees for spiritual prayers, talismans, curse removal. Look out for those kind of things. Look out for psychics that give you mostly bad news. You actually should feel better after you talk to a psychic. Protecting yourself is really important. You should ground yourself before a reading, okay? You need to ground yourself. You need to be totally present and accounted for. So say a little prayer, opening up the communication between yourself and your psychic. Sit still with your feet on the floor, get a glass of water, little things that you can do to ground yourself before reading. Remember also that you have the power to accept or reject or censor or ask for more information, okay? If you don't like what the psychic says, that's fine. You can reject it. I tell people they should put it in the bank just in case they need to pull it out later. But if a psychic says something really off base to you, just reject it. So censor the information. So it sounds like it's time for another break, and we'll be back for the end of this. And stay tuned.
Connecting you with the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
The number one reason girls drop out of school in sub-Saharan Africa is lack of access to feminine hygiene products. The Pads for Schoolgirls project, an outreach of Humanity Healing International, is changing this paradigm by setting up sewing programs at schools, teaching girls a vocational skill, while producing the reusable pads that help keep them attending classes. The girls pay it forward by making and giving pad kits to other girls in need. To learn more, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
My name is Victor Furman. Some call me The Voice. I've always been fascinated with human nature, spirituality, science, and the crossroads at which they meet. Join me Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio, and we'll explore these topics and so much more on Destination Unlimited.
There is no death, only a change of worlds. Chief Seattle. Deborah Livingston is an award-winning intuitive psychic medium whose international services include mediumship, spiritual assessment, animal communication, and spiritual mentoring. She is a published author and a trained shaman. Deborah provides evidential messages from spirit and departed loved ones. Learn more at deblivemedium.com. That's DEBLIV medium.com.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans. When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer. When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
Okay, we're back. So I was talking, you have the power to reject, censor, the information coming through or ask for more information. Remember, it's about you. Be respectful, but you're paying the money, and this is about you. So if you're unsure of what the psychic is saying or uncomfortable, speak up for yourself. Understand also that it is very easy to become entranced by the reader's voice, their environment, and when you're entranced, relaxed, highly focused, you are suggestible. And being a hypnotherapist, I'm very familiar with this. So if you are 100% present and accounted for, you are filtering the information that's coming in. So the psychic says something like, I see a black mark in your breast. You don't have to accept that as I now have breast cancer. Hopefully a psychic wouldn't say that. But, like the person I talked to said that their psychic cursed them on their way out the door because they wouldn't pay an additional $500 for something. He was in a relaxed, focused state and may have been suggestible to that idea of a curse at that time. So if you're 100% present and accounted for, then you're less likely to be in a state where you could receive a suggestion, so to speak, that may or may not be in your best interest. I definitely want to take notes during the reading, take notes or ask if you can record the reading. It's always nice to go back to verify something or once again to get a deeper understanding of the information. Sometimes we give you information, you go, huh? And then about 3 months later or 2 weeks later, I get a call back. What was that again? Because all of a sudden it's making sense. So protect yourself. Be responsible for yourself. It's really, really important. I may have somebody on to talk about curses later. That's something that comes up quite often. So I'm probably going to do a whole show on that because I think that's important for people to understand how that works. So we've got some psychic don'ts, okay? When a person tells you they're a professional psychic, don't ask them to prove it then and there, all right? This happens a lot at parties. Oh, if you're a psychic, then tell me something about myself right now, okay? We're at the party. Unless we're working the party, we're there to have a good time and enjoy ourselves. And opening up all our senses at an event like that, you can imagine we're going to be bombarded with information. It's just kind of rude. So please don't do that to us. It's uncomfortable most of the time. Ask for our business card. Ask for my business card. Then do your research. We'd love to talk to you. So, if you're interested, you want to know if the person is psychic, ask for their business card, call them later. Also, don't do a phone reading while you are eating, driving, standing in line at Starbucks. Honest to goodness, people, like I said, this is about you. You're paying good money for this. Be 100% present. Don't be the mom driving the car with her kids in the car trying to do a phone reading, okay? It makes us nervous. I won't do it. Anytime I can, I demand that the person pull over because I do not want to be the source of your accident. And I don't care how good you are at doing different things at one time. Remember, because of the nature of the work and the energy being exchanged, you may go into a light trance state, and that could be dangerous. It's also very rude to us to be picking up your cleaning or talking to the Starbucks barista while we're trying to tune in on your energy. You're going to miss something really important. A lot of the work is just energy exchanges. Like I said, my healing guides are there. You might miss that if you're not 100% with it. So if you're doing a phone reading, do yourself the favor of giving yourself that time to just sit, be 100% present and connected. Remember that we are humans. Psychics are humans. We have character flaws. We have judgments like everyone else. We have life experiences. As I said, a good psychic is going to give you the information they receive as they receive it for you to interpret for yourself. So, please be cognizant that we are humans, okay? Also, talk to your psychics, find out what else they do. A lot of us have other tools in our toolbox to help you. Psychics as healers, coaches, things like that. Quite often people say, yeah, every psychic I've talked to tells me the man of my life is coming in 3 months, 6 months, next year, and he never comes. Well, that's when you want to find out why. What is going on inside of you that is keeping that energy away from you? So if your healer is somebody like me who does hypnosis, hypnotherapy, EFT, other energy work, or maybe if they're a trained coach, maybe they can help you along the line with that kind of work. And then another thing is, how often should you see a psychic? Okay. On general, I'd say no more than every 3 to 6 months. Really, we're giving you information, but it's about you. It's for you. But it's, our job is to help you with that, enhance your life, but we can't be there for every little decision-making thing, and it's wrong. It's just wrong. Live your life. Learn, get in touch with your own intuition. It's going to happen sometimes that you might want to call a little more often, and that's okay. But don't make a habit of calling every day, every week, anything like that, because at that point we've just become your drug of choice. And we don't want to be your drug of choice. We want to be able to help you. So that being said, I want to say I have some business clients that will tend to call a little more often, especially if the business is going through a lot of changes. I have a client who works for a big corporation, and there was a lot of finagling going on over a big project, a lot of politics involved, a lot of people trying to step their toes in. And she was really kind of, she didn't know who she could trust or what was really going on behind the scenes. And so she, going through that period of that adjustment, she was calling me a little more often, once a month or so. So things like that are going to happen in life. But generally, live your life. We want you to live your life. Use us because that's what we're there for, and we can give you the edge. But be reasonable about it, and don't be one of those people that says, well, I've got $10,000 charged up on my MasterCard from Psychic. You're not paying attention if that's what's going on. So we love you. We want to work with you. There's always a question, if this is a gift from God, a spiritual push, why are you charging? If this is what we're doing for a living, then we still have rent to pay and things like that, we have to charge. Any church that you walk into at the end of the sermon, they're going to pass the basket because they have to support that building. The pastor, the priest has to eat, things like that. So please don't make us feel badly that we're doing this for a living. This is a gift that we share with you, and we need to eat, we need to pay our rent, and we can't be very good at what we do if we're constantly under that kind of stress. So this show went really, really fast for me, really, really fast. There's a lot of things they didn't get a chance to get into, but this is the basis of the show. So I'm going to be interviewing people in the months to come that do different things, and they're going to tell you the same thing, what they can do to help you, what they need from you, what is your responsibility, what is their responsibility. And I think you're going to meet some fascinating people along the way. And also, you're going to be educated. You're going to go in smart, and you're going to get the most for your time and your money. And you're going to feel like you have somebody there on your side, because we are. We're there on your side. We're there to help. We're there to help you tune in and be all of, you as much as you can be. So I want to spend a few moments. If you're pretty sure you're psychic, and a lot of you are, I know that all of you are one way or another. A lot of you know things that you think you shouldn't know. A lot of you feel spirits around you. Most of you have had some kind of eerie moment, and you're pretty sure or wondering, was that just a product of my imagination? I don't think it was. I believe we're all born with amazing intuition and psychic abilities, and I also believe strongly that it's our right to claim and use them as we would all of our other five senses. Awakening to your intuitive psychic gifts also enhances and accelerates your spiritual growth. And you'll find, most people find, that it fits pretty seamlessly into their religious preference or how they perceive their connection to their higher power, so to speak, whatever that is. So if you're interested in learning more about you, or if you're pretty sure you're psychic and you would like to do what I do for a living and what many of us do and get so much enjoyment, so much passion, so much good mojo from, you go on my website and look up under the tab, Are You Psychic? And find out about my classes. Give me a call and I'll let you know when the next ones are scheduled. And once again, if you'd like to have a reading with me or hypnosis or whatever, go to my website. You can make an appointment. You can make an appointment from my Mary O'Malley Psychic Medium Facebook page. And most of the stuff I can do by Skype, in person, by phone.
Parker's Best of the Best. Be sure to tune in next week for more lively discussion topics. Have a great week, and don't forget to check out bestamericanpsychics.com in case you need some professional, ethical, and accurate psychic advice from the nation's best psychics. Until next week, take care of yourselves and